I went to Goldsmiths in 1971 and left in 1974. Well, back in 1975 and mid-70s, nothing was digital. Spotlight was an actual physical book. You submitted your black and white 10 by 8. Film was actual film, and they were always concerned about how much film stock they had. But perhaps the biggest difference in the mid-70s was equity. Equity was what was called a closed shop. So you could only be a professional actor if you were in equity, and you could only get into equity if you were a professional actor. So I'm still proud to think of it as an equity card, and I'm still more than happy to be a member of equity. Oh, without a doubt, it was Nesta Jones as a tutor. She was so inspirational and so encouraging and really gave helpful feedback. I understand she went on to be a professor at Rose Bruford, but I studied under her when I was at Goldsmiths. Like many actors, I've done all sorts of casual jobs whilst waiting for that big opportunity. So I've been a milkman, a wine waiter, a warehouse operative, a postman. But I have had a couple of spells when I've sort of gone off to do other careers. So I've been a school teacher, drama and theatre studies teacher. And I also worked for quite a while for a international IT company. I started as a trainer and presenter. I didn't think they took me on because I could stand up in front of an audience and talk. And I sort of learnt the lines about mainframe computers. I'm not sure I ever really knew it that well, but I could say the words appropriately. But I did eventually become their marketing and communications director. Quite often, especially when it comes to commercials or film, I get cast as a CEO or a manager or a director or some figure of authority, a policeman or a magistrate or a teacher. And I guess that's to do with the fact that I have been a director and I have been a teacher. So whether that's art following life or life following art, I'm not sure, but it's had an influence on my acting career. When you've been an actor for quite a long time, there's all sorts of roles that you've enjoyed. I liked doing Chekhov, so I like doing Kostya in The Seagull and Dr. Astroff in Uncle Vanya. I enjoyed playing Algy in The Importance of Being Earnest. I liked also when I got to play against type. So playing Edmund in King Lear was great for me because he's a villain and I don't often get to do villains. But if I had to choose one, it would be Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing. With the same company, the season before, we'd done Taming of the Shrew and I'd played Petruchio. And then the following year, we came back together as a company. The same actress who had played Catherine played Beatrice. And so, we started that tennis match again as Beatrice and Benedict, and I absolutely loved playing that role. Well, first of all, I'm a very enthusiastic and keen golfer. I play at least twice a week. I'm not as good as I used to be because age catches up with all of us, so I don't hit the ball quite as far as I used to. But I'm still in the top 40% in the country and still love playing it. I've also recently returned to angling, thanks maybe to Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer. I think I'm more on the Bob Mortimer side than the Paul side of it, but I'm enjoying that very much. I like horse riding, I like travel, and I quite enjoy cooking as well. Back in 1970, when I was doing my A-levels, I'd chosen to do them at college rather than at school, and the college had a student union, and I became the social secretary, which meant that I had to book acts for the sort of monthly student dance. And I took a risk on somebody I'd never heard of and booked them 5 or 6 months in advance for a princely sum of £250. And about 5 weeks before the actual date, that band released a single called Your Song. And of course, it was Elton John. And he honoured the contract, and it cost me more to hire the grand piano than it did the £250 that I had to pay him for him and the whole band. But he was fantastic, brilliant performance. And so I can sort of brag that I've hired Elton John for £250.